Recent news events continue to prove that there is a malevolent force at work in this world, orchestrating satanic ritual events and human sacrifices in order to bring about the rise of the antichrist and to give birth to the new world order. Satanic rituals involving the Sunshine State of Florida seem to be increasing over the past few weeks. Even though this evil persists, there's an even greater force at work which supersedes anything these demonic forces and the men who are actuated by them can imagine. That force is no other than the one and only true and living God, the I Am. In this episode, I will once again expose the crafty, cunning actions of the adversary, and I will also show you the message Yahweh has left imprinted on these orchestrated events. In doing this, we can clearly see that no matter what kind of artful deceptions or malignant rituals the enemy employs against us, there is no wisdom, nor understanding, nor counsel that shall prevail against the Lord. First, we begin with the story of Rob Konrad, the former Miami Dolphin who swam 9 miles to shore after spending 16 hours in the Atlantic Ocean after he fell off of his boat.
An incredible story of survival and determination. Tonight we're hearing the first-hand account of former Miami Dolphin Rob Konrad's 16-hour swim back to shore. A wave knocked him off his boat 9 miles offshore.
I shouldn't be here.
Rob Konrad is counting his blessings. Still weak, he talked about the 16 hours at sea swimming to shore.
I made the decision that I was going to start swimming towards shore. I was going to start swimming west.
He says he followed the sun.
He says he followed the sun. He says he followed the sun.
And caught glimpse of shore. All the while, jellyfish and other animals surrounded him. A shark circled at dusk. Then the moment he was waiting for, a fishing boat passed 50 yards away, but didn't spot him.
To have the boat come that close and not hear you or see you was just, you have to get your mind right at that point in time.
He says a Coast Guard helicopter missed him too, and he kept moving, finally making it to shore.
Like I said, it was shaking uncontrollably. And
he gathered what little strength he had left and knocked on the first house he came to.
Very thankful that the house I went to ended up responding, and I don't know if I could have made it to the next house.
His wife remembers holding Rob's hand at the hospital. She says he is dedicated to their 2 daughters, and she believes they powered him to shore.
I do think that's something special. He had 2 angels on his back, and, I mean, it's truly a miracle.
Let's examine the orchestrated message which was intended to be conveyed by this event. Rob Konrad is a former dolphin. Oceanic dolphins belong to the Delphinidae, which connects this event with the oracle at Delphi for Apollo, the sun god. Apollo is connected with Delphi by his epithet, Delphinios, or the Delphinian. This epithet is connected with dolphins, and it recounts the legend of how Apollo first came to Delphi in the shape of a dolphin, carrying Cretan priests on his back.
I do think that's something special. He had 2 angels on his back, and, I mean, it's truly a miracle.
Rob Konrad also spent his last season in the NFL as an Oakland Raider. If you remember, a few videos back, we discussed how Oakland represents the Holy Land of Israel, and how the Raider is a reference to a robber who invades the Holy Land of Israel. How beautifully and ironically poetic that the man in this event, who has already been connected to Apollo the sun god, also has the given name of Rob, which means to defraud, commit robbery, to steal, pillage, ransack, rape, spoil, plunder, to cut, and to divide. His last name, Konrad, literally means bold in counsel or radical counsel. It also means to form a league or alliance, from read, to reason, to succeed, accomplish, take thought, in the sense of interpreting a riddle, to give counsel on that which puzzles and perplexes, and to solve it. Interestingly enough, Konrad was taking his boat to a service station north of Boca Raton when he fell into the water. Boca Raton means the mouth of the rat. A rat is a despicable person, especially one who betrays or informs upon his associates, or one who defaults, abandons, and fails to perform a task or fulfill an obligation. Konrad swam 9 miles in 16 hours. The number 916 represents pure gold. In some countries like India, the highest purity of gold is the 916 gold, or 22 karat. Therefore, 916 gold is considered the perfect form of pure gold. As we have also discussed previously, gold represents divinity, or turning man into God.
Alchemy and the search for the Philosopher's Stone today. This central goal of finding the Philosopher's Stone and transmuting substances into gold, that objective is now actually possible.
When we put all of these things together, the meaning of this event becomes clear. Here is the message. The one who is bright with fame and glory is the dawn or rising sun, who is considered divine and quick-witted.
Contrary to the rumors that you've heard, I was not born in a manger. I was actually born on Krypton and sent here by my father, Jor-El, to save the planet Earth.
He has the ability to think effectively. He is extraordinarily perceptive and insightful, shrewd, clever, and resourceful.
Where we once were, we are no longer a Christian nation, at least not just.
Our journey is not complete until our gay brothers and sisters are treated like anyone else under the law.
He shall defraud, commit robbery, pillage, ransack, rape, spoil, plunder, and divide the Holy Land.
The United States believes that negotiations should result in 2 states with permanent Palestinian borders with Israel, Jordan, and Egypt, and permanent Israeli borders with Palestine.
He shall be bold in counsel, and he shall make a league or an alliance with them, and by reasoning he shall succeed and accomplish
honor
this.
With deep gratitude.
And he shall interpret a riddle. He shall give counsel on that which puzzles and perplexes, and he shall solve it. He has the mouth of the rat. He is a despicable person who shall default, abandon, and fail to perform or fulfill his obligations. He is the Delphinian, Apollo, the sun god, the beast from the sea, and he will be considered pure gold, perfect, and divine. Interestingly enough, Rob Konrad is number 44. This is symbolic of our 44th president, Barack Obama. We've seen this symbolism used before. This message is confirmation of Daniel 9:27. And he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week. And in the midst of the week he shall cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease. And for the overspreading of abominations he shall make it desolate, even until the consummation. And that determined shall be poured upon the desolate. Next, we will examine the story of a father who threw a 5-year-old girl named Phoebe off of a bridge into Tampa Bay.
Hard to imagine a father would do such a thing to his child, but police say he did and actually waited for an officer to arrive so he can witness the heinous crime.
Why did you do it? What do you have to say for yourself?
St. Petersburg police say this man, 25-year-old John Jonchuck Jr., threw his 5-year-old daughter over a bridge and into the water early Thursday morning.
Doing this job for 29 years, and I don't even know what was going through this guy's mind.
The horrific incident began just after midnight when police say a St. Petersburg officer on his way home spotted Jonchuck speed by him on his PT Cruiser up the Dick Meisner Bridge on the approach to the Sunshine Skyway. And once he reached the top, stopped his car and waited for the officer to arrive.
The suspect got out of his vehicle and he started saying something to the officer, but the officer had no idea what he was saying. The suspect then went to the other side of the vehicle, pulled out a child, put the child's face toward his chest. Then he walked to the side of the bridge and he threw the child into the water.
When we look at the symbolism in this story, this is what we find. The Father is symbolic of Yahweh. To throw is to cast down forcefully or to cause to fall. The 5-year-old, or the number 5, symbolizes God's grace, goodness, and favor. Phoebe means Apollo or Satan. The bridge is symbolic of a place of transition or crossing over from one plane of existence to another. Tampa means sticks of fire, which is symbolic of the river in hell, which is called Styx. The river Styx formed the boundary between earth and the underworld, Hades or hell. Bay means an opening, hole, or gulf, and this is symbolic of the abyss. Therefore, the symbolic meaning is as follows. Yahweh cast down and caused to fall from grace Apollo or Satan, who fell from one existence to another into the river Styx and the underworld of the abyss. When we take into account the names of both father and daughter, the message here is as follows. Yahweh shall be gracious, merciful, and compassionate, because the destroyer of the people, Old Nick, the devil, gained a victory over the people. Yahweh shall be merciful and compassionate, and he shall alleviate the suffering of those who were cast down and made into men, bondsmen, and slaves by Apollo, those who were once an army of warriors. They shall be made pure, radiant, and shining bright. Although they have been cast down, they shall be illuminated as the daylight, because they chose the exalted path, and they shall transition and cross over from one plane of existence to another. This message is confirmation of Daniel 8:10-11. And it waxed great, even to the host of heaven, and it cast down some of the host and of the stars to the ground, and stamped upon them. Yea, he magnified himself, even to the prince of the hosts, and by him the daily sacrifice was taken away, and the place of his sanctuary was cast down. Praise the true and living God, the sons of God, the army of the host of heaven, who were defeated in battle, shall return to their former position by the grace of God in the near future. Shalom.